So I had a couple of things to show you, a little warm-up thing. I tweeted this, maybe you've seen it, but it was, and so we know this, right? There are a lot of fake accounts online, there are a lot of fake, and some of them are bots, some of them are people paid to be fake people with lots of different accounts and writing fun things to people online, and the extent of that remains somewhat unknown, but estimates are pretty high. So this is just about followers on Twitter. So it's a New York Times article. They made it very special, it's nice. New York Times is kind of all over the place in the quality of things it does, but they have done some fantastic things with visualizations, right? So this is this nice little thing. It shows you, that's a bot, right? So this is, this is very enjoyable. I mean, obviously you should read the text as well, but that's a real Twitter account. It's great. But of course it means, you get this little thing in your data set and you have to think about that. So ambulances will tweet. This is something we had to contend with early on. You get tweets from ambulances. You get tweets from weather stations. So, and we see so much work where people, will say, oh, the happiness went down or whatever it is they're measuring or something, but they never look at the words, right? So pressure, for example, appears a lot in certain kinds of geotagged Twitter tweets. And it's of course a weather thing, right? Pressure rising, falling. So there's rising, falling, pressure. Those words come over and over and over again. And if you don't look at what's going on, you think, oh, like this, because people react to the word pressure. What do they think of pressure is happy? It's just madness to me. Yeah, so this is a little command line thing, but this is a somewhat low happiness score on a 1 to 9 scale. People see that word in isolation. And so it's a weather bot, right? So there are lots of bots. Bots are fun. They do cool things. This one is an earthquake bot. Famously, Twitter became a sort of great source for breaking news, and earthquakes are a very real, useful thing, right? And there's efforts to actually use both seismometers and Twitter to kind of gauge how things are spreading. Yeah. Of course, there's an XKCD joke about that one. All right, so there are these sorts of things. So this is a bot, it's an amplification bot. They're focusing on this company, Devumi, which you can pay money to get more followers, right? More friends, right? So you have more friends. I mean, very early on, the follower count was clearly not a very useful thing. It didn't, at the top of the follower count things, there's Lady Gaga and people that all made sense, Obama, right? They made sense. But there's a lot of fake stuff in there, whether those people buy it or not as well. Anyway, so I just want to show you there's pretty great visualizations in here. So this is a stolen one, right? So this is the real person, and so an easy thing. You can go and write some scripts and steal some people's stuff. And in this case, they actually took. I guess if I scroll a little more, it'll pop. They took the name. There's the original. There's the fake one. It's very close. What is it? Oh, I guess you can do that, right? Okay. And then. So the fake ones, so of course once you make a whole bunch of fake ones, you can make them all follow each other and so on. You can make them instantly whatever and retweet and so on, yeah. Do all sorts of things. Different, material. Okay, so these are then a list of people, I guess, who have, I think they're saying here that they or people working for them bought followers. So, they're outing a whole bunch of people, having a lot of fun with it. But then I want to show you, yeah, okay, so this is someone, so this person is, who is this person? She is someone who's on the Twitter board, I think. Did you read this? Who was it again? So this is just this, okay, so here's, yeah, it starts here, this little piece. All right, so this is just, okay, so here's this is a real human, this is a real person following. So this is a really nice little thing. So Twitter starts back here in sort of around 2005, but really only starts to take off. And we have tweets from, 10% of all tweets from about here stored at UVM. So this is there are a couple of ways to look at this, and this is a clever, so Zappos followed them, so it's fine, but it's a real thing. And then you start to see them, and the way they're doing this is, here's their number of followers, right, total. And this is just when they joined. So it's a pretty easy piece of information to get hold of. So you look around and you can sort of maybe play around with some things, and you see that you're going to get people that have been around for a while who follow you, that's fine. but you also should see a rising front, right? So you can't have anyone from the future following you at the start, right? So this is there's a cap on this upper part, and you kind of expect as more people come along, partly because of the way Twitter and Instagram and all these things do it, they tend to sort of shovel people in front of you. I mean, the rich get richer thing for social media is pretty enormous, right? Because if you sign up for a new Twitter account, which I do basically every 10 days, because I thought of another fun thing to do, right? The crucial thing is you have to put plus, right? Because you can't use the same email address, right, for all of them. So you have to put your thing plus whatever little extra bit you want here at uvm.edu, for example, and that plus bit always gets. It will come through if someone sends you an email with plus whatever. It can be anything you want, but it can be it's a little tag that you can then use. Very nice. That solved a profound problem, which was having one Twitter account. Okay, so you can sort of see. So there's this is a really great visualization, right? So you can see the time when she or he joined. I think it's a woman who's on the board. When they joined, you start to see this band, which makes sense because there's sort of people coming on board at the same time, and it's a little bit thicker around the you just scroll down around this is the I mean, it's bent because of the number of people. She's getting a lot more followers here, and then it sort of slackens off, but this is the front of time unfolding. All right, so that keeps going up. And so this is pretty good, actually, right? This is sort of seems fairly organic. And then you see this. So this is really, really telling. And so Johan Uganda, who's at Stanford, we interviewed him here a few years ago. Very interesting, super guy. He's got some stuff on GitHub that I'll point to. Well, I guess I retweeted it, but that did a similar sort of thing. So if you want to play around with this. But I guess, New York Times done a good thing. Okay, so, yeah, right, so you're seeing, these accounts were set up back here in time. Someone's running them, right? There's a coherent group of them, and then just, they just dump them on. They're really, of course, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to try and mimic this, right? Right, it's an arms race, because this is pretty telling. And so you can see there was a big buy here, one and a few more, just a little casual extra follower purchase. Maybe, like late at night, you're just like, I'll get some more. They look interesting. But you can see this really, and then some more. I need more people. And the follow account, right? It's really jumping from here to here and from here to here. But you don't see the right kind of thing in terms of people who have just arrived on the surface. So it's a little. So yeah, you can make these red bands, and then I think, yeah. And so this is the one that was back at the top. This is very nice. So that's the bot that they highlight as being a copy, and so there it is. It's just like, used for all sorts of things. Actually, I don't know if I can click on that one just here. Some swelling. I mean, this is just weird here. That's not right either. Like these are really, it's interesting, these are really grouped together. So you have all these bots were made, in a similar time, but now you've got a whole raft of them. That just seems wrong. So, and this is someone else, right? This is just another person. There's that same bot. It's pretty great. I mean, they're pretty reusable. This one is, not good. That's ugly. That's really bad. This just looks like, had to. What's that? They just bought it. Yeah, it's like this. Maybe that's organic, but it's pretty steep there. This one, hold on. Is the one that's rolling up the person? Yeah. Okay. There you go. Jerusalem bureau chief for Breitbart News. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is, once you get going, and here's this person again. It's like this is a rowing world champion, right? Express regret. I don't want anyone following me who is not interested in me. Political commentator. Whew, that's pretty bad, yeah. So there's the fake one way back here. I mean, this was a sad start, right? It's just like, I have no faith in my ability to try. I mean, we talked about this in POX. If you want things to take off, you should not do this. It's not good. You want it to be real people. What's that? Yeah, so there's a lot more there about, like this is where the company is based, but there's no one there, and all this sort of, they get into the good stuff like that, and they've never ran it. That's the address, but they've never ran anything. So, this seems to be more digging in. Anyway, there's a follow-up one, and this was kind of cool. Like, so if you do this, they highlight it, and then just, these did vanish though. So after their article, a lot of bots, which Twitter couldn't find apparently because they're so sneaky. So apparently the story is Twitter is reluctant to get rid of these bots because it is how many users they have. It's in there. Suddenly their number of users is going to go down by 20%. Users. So now it looks really bad, right? Because they've been exposed enough, and these are really, this is a potent, the fingerprints they're calling them, right? So this is, boom. And anyway, they went bye-bye. But look, and then the point is, not quite, right? Right, there are still very clear, like these are bots, and there's all of these, and all of these, and all of these, right? So, anyway, this is just a beautiful visualization, and pretty spectacular. This is where the bots come from, I suppose. This is interesting. Maps are great things. There's not a lot here that's that surprising, right? It really seems to be connected to population. I don't think there's any amazing thing there. Because what you need to do is normalize it by, it is the raw number. So, you need something. I mean, if you wanted to see, you could have this plot, but you'd have some relative to the population. It's big, so we can tell from this that Florida is, maybe not botifying. I was actually, early on I had a suspicion there was a lot of stuff coming out of Salt Lake City that was kind of shaky, but I don't see that here. All right, anyway, great visualization. I know I've talked about it for too long, but it's really pretty cool. So that data's just sitting there, and that was taking, again, a couple of really simple things. I mean, you need to get at the followers for someone. You need to collect all of them, when they followed them, and if they're still there. Because if you want to make this one, you have to go back and get rid of them. And then just, when those accounts were started, which is just sitting there in their account head, and it's pretty good, yeah. Sorry, what was that? I don't know. So it is hard to go back into someone's history. Like you can go and get the last 3,200 or something like that, like no problem. Tweets, for example. So there's that, there's a barrier there, so it's hard to get everything for a person. To get their followers, oh, gee.
Do you think there's someone inside Twitter who's providing that data? So
a leak?
Yeah,
deep tweet. Sorry, I apologize.
Data for since
yeah,
started.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any company being oh, you want to investigate this thing?
Oh no. Well, but you can get all of. So I'm sure the New York Times has this. You can pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, however it is, to get the fire hose, which is everything. You can get all the tweets. You can have all the tweets. You can get tweets from the past. You can buy all the tweets.
2009?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With enough money, you can, yeah. You can, you're right, of course you're right. So, let's see. Yeah, no, you're right. Martha Lane Fox. It doesn't seem to have a link. You're right. So the question is, can you then you have to make a little thing. So there you go. See, here's the thing, right? So when you click on their followers, it's here, but it's one of these infinite scroll things, so you have to write a little thing that goes and pokes it all the time. like tickles it with a feather, right, and just goes doo doo doo, which you can do, right, with selenium, which pretends to be a robot.
Yeah, it tends to be an actual person.
But it's going to take a long time, right? There's 196,000, maybe they did. And then, of course, once you've got it all, you could just see if those accounts are suspended or not, right? You could run a thing. This would take some time to do.
You also couldn't do it like, you also have
I've
to
got to
minimize
listen.
the amount of time you poked it, because
That's right.
definitely
Yeah.
pick up on like,
From lots of different machines, you know, you do all sorts of things like that. If you really, yeah, because you could get. It's plausible.